Welcome back to the Really Outside podcast. Today, we have an interesting episode today. Not really an episode, but an interview. We're joined today by my co-host Justin,
Yo, yo, yo.
and we have a special guest in the building. Bro, I knew this nigga longer than I knew myself. We got Harvey in the building, bro. Harvey Miguel.
What's up?
How you doing, bro?
I'm chilling, man.
So, I don't know what if the first thing I want to say, really, bro, is that you really one of my real right boys, and that I don't know on the journey to becoming a good person myself, you definitely helped me do that, and I feel like you are one of those people that's also on their own self-bettering journey, trying to be the best person that they can be. You agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason I say that is because the only reason we're really here is for this journey of self-mastery. It's like every opportunity that you get, whether it's a bad opportunity or good opportunity, it's up to your like own perception to change how you look at it. So you might sit there and be like, okay, I'm facing some adversity and some challenges right now, but how you look at it determines the outcome. So it's all up to you at the end of the day, if you want to master that adversity or if you want to let that adversity master you.
And you see, that's one of the reasons why I feel like you and me are good friends, or that I value as a friend, is that you have this certain perspective that a lot of other people our age don't have, you know? So I want to ask you, where do you feel like that perspective comes from?
I feel like that perspective comes from a lot of self-reflection, and just because the self-reflection comes from also, like I'm pointing to before, the self-adversity. Like you have challenges in your life that you faced. You might have faced them 5 years ago, but if you process them now, you'll see how you've changed. So you might sit there and be like, 2 years ago, I might have handled this thing completely different. Now, I'm handling things even better than I was a year ago, 5 months ago, 3 years ago.
So what are the things that you feel like you have to do that allows you to have this kind of self-reflection? Because not everybody's going to be self-reflective like that, because some people, they do the same things. They do one thing this year, and in 2 years they'll do the same thing, you know?
Well, I feel like the first thing you have to do is take accountability. And accountability is one of the hardest things to do. That's why people don't do it a lot. So once you start taking accountability for your own life, and you sit there and, like I said, you have to, like, also another thing, people don't like to sit there by themselves, which is why people go out so much. So people go out so much because they might not be wanting to, process the things that you're gonna have to process eventually. Like if I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, I want to better my fashion, right? I'm gonna have to sit there and think like ways to better out fashion and what I'm doing wrong, what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses in whatever I'm doing. But that's gonna take time, and like I said, it's gonna take me sitting down with myself, which is a hard thing for people to do nowadays.
Why do you think it's so hard for people to take accountability?
I say it's hard for people to take accountability because people don't want to accept that they're wrong.
That's true.
People want to
Difficult.
think that they went about things the right way all the time. When it's like, if you sit there and understand that you're not right all the time, and that's okay, because in order for you to grow, you have to make mistakes. If you think that you're not making mistakes, you're not growing.
Yeah, anybody who has a craft or an art, I feel like they have to practice accountability, because if you're not accountable with yourself when it comes to your craft and shit, you're not gonna get nowhere, you're not gonna progress. And I feel like this is a good segue into leading into the fact that ever since I knew you, you've been into fashion. Not you've done other things too, but I'd say your main focus has been fashion. Am I wrong in that?
No, you're absolutely correct.
So what I want to ask you is, what got you into fashion?
So what got me into fashion is, it was when I was in high school,
And I want to preface this by saying I knew this nigga since high school, since I was probably 18. We 24 now. So this nigga's been doing this shit 6-7 years plus. So keep going, my fault. I just
Nah,
want
you
to say
good.
that.
And what got me into fashion is when I was in junior year of high school, I remember I seen people like coming out with like brands and like t-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that. And in my head, I was thinking like, bro, like I can make something better than this. Like if people are doing this and this is what's, making, them have their name, I feel like I could do something better than this. So I acted on that. And after a while, I started going around like, how can I say, like not gaining the knowledge right then and there because I didn't know what I was doing at first. So I had to look for a manufacturer. Somebody I met online, shout out to Scott. He had this brand called Raised by Thieves, and he hooked me up with the first manufacturer I ever had. Now,
Shout out Scott.
big shout out to Scott. If I wouldn't even have started if it wasn't for him. So after that, what ended up happening is along the way of me doing this fashion stuff, like I said, I wanted to make stuff that's better than what I might, what might be out there. And as a creative and as a like artist, if that's how you feel that you can bring something into the world, then do that because that's what creation is all about. You're creating something that didn't previously exist. So I was like, all right, I want to make these t-shirts. I made these t-shirts. T-shirts came out good, but there's like, as you learn and go about your craft, you make mistakes. So one of the mistakes I made was I didn't put like things in the notes, like, all right, this needs to be pre-shrunk so that when people watch it, it doesn't get shrunk. I sold t-shirts for like $40 when I first started. I sold some t-shirts for $40, and then people were hitting me like, yo, my t-shirt shrunk when I washed it, and I'm like,
Damn.
I'm just like, damn.
But that's the growing pains, though.
Of course. That's what I mean. It's like I didn't know at the time. Now I'm here, I know. Like, all right, I have to make sure that, and even then, I still might make mistakes. I might not put something in there, and then when I get the sample, I'm like, all right, you know what? This is not it. Let me retrace my steps. Where did I go wrong?
So let me tell you guys one thing. This nigga is a fashion nigga because he has a push pin in his mouth right now.
I just beat that too. I thought it was a lollipop.
Push pin as a toothpick. But let's get back on the topic. When you was talking about you putting all these shirts in high school, I know, because since I've been there, I know it's underneath a brand called Malware, right?
Yeah.
Okay, talk about that for a little bit.
So Malware was my first brand, and that brand was more like geared towards like streetwear, but even then I didn't know what I was really doing. So it's like I was able to, sell
This
some
is how
t-shirts.
you know this is my boy. I got a Malware
that's
bag,
the Malware bag
right here,
that
bro.
shit is rare,
Look
bro.
at this shit, boy.
That shit is rare, bro.
I've been using this shit for years, bro. Look at the quality, bro. My nigga was on his quality shit back then, bro. This is Malware bag. My fault, bro. I had to show that.
You good.
Talk about Malware for a second.
That shit, I wanted to do like a streetwear, like high fashion. Even now, I still want to do luxury. But when it comes to Malware, what ended up happening is, this is why it's important to trademark shit. Like, if you have a brand or you have a business, get that shit trademarked. Do not wait. No. Get it trademarked, because somebody can come and take that shit and now you're ass out. Now you don't have anything anymore. And that's what happened to me.
Trademark it.
I didn't trademark it, and then like 2-3 months after I'm doing business, I'm selling shirts, I have a website, niggas trademarked it, and I trademarked it after, but even then it doesn't matter anymore because he got it first.
Damn.
So then I had to shut down my business, and then
I didn't know that. I thought you just made like a whole pivot. Like you just didn't fuck with the name anymore.
Nah, somebody took that shit, and then I had to start another one.
Damn. So you see that? Now y'all learned a lesson.
So you gotta speak on that a little bit, like on how the person went and trademarked it before you, like what events happened after that person went, and
So-
did you know the person?
No, I didn't know the person. The person is some random person. And what ended up happening is, so there's two things when you trademark. There's intend to use and there's in use. So he put it intend to use. He wanted to use the name. And when I did mine, I put mine was already in use because I had a website, I had tags, I had clothes, I had everything. And then after a while, they hit me up with like but he had a lawyer, and that's the thing. I did my trademark myself. So I didn't have no lawyer to, sit
The
there and
cease and desist.
Nah, not even that. Cease and desist is like a bigger thing. But what ended up happening is like they send me a letter, like if I want to like fight for it, and then I had to sit there and think like, is that name worth fighting for, and going back and forth and doing all this? And I was like, nah, I'll just start
Was
something
that
else.
like a fucked up moment for you though?
It was, because it was a big thing. I felt weird because I was like, what am I gonna do now? But then I thought about it. I'm like, if I can create one thing, I can create something else. And this might be a better thing to happen to me, so I can create something better than Mauer, because I wasn't really fucking with the name after a while, because it's to me after a while got like sort of like cliche and childish. So I was like, all right, let me create something else, and that's when I created Meuces.
Yeah, I remember when that first happened. I don't know if I'm right about this, but you said that it was more of a pivot from streetwear, because Malware was more kind of streetwear, and then you
Yeah.
went to like more of high fashion kind of brand with Meuces.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing now. Is like I'm learning the ropes on how to create a brand, because that's the thing. People just think the brand is the name. I mean, yeah, but the brand isn't just a name. Brand is marketing. Brand is fucking associations. Brand is like more than just a name. Like when you think about certain brands, they give you a picture. They give you a feeling. And now I'm trying to level up my branding to on my Meuces brand to sort of like match what I want it to give off. And that's gonna take some time, because like I said, it's like you have to go through, you have to learn as you're going. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine.
So, when it comes to the streetwear, and then you're saying high fashion, what makes it different when it comes
Quality.
to? Okay,
So streetwear just might be somebody go get some blanks and go screen print, and that's how most brands start off. They go screen print, go get a brand, go embroider, go do whatever they gotta do. But when it comes to high fashion or luxury brands, it's about quality and presentation. Because you can go buy something from somebody for $60, a hoodie, yeah, but it might come in like I just gave Phil a bag, a shirt. What size are you?
medium.
So I just gave him a shirt, and I'm giving you a shirt too.
Oh shit!
But
Yeah, this is the
but that
Oh,
like I'm saying, when it comes to
sheesh.
quality,
this the ward tee that my boy just dropped maybe a couple months ago, like 2 months ago.
yeah,
Oh, that shit's fire.
My boy
bro.
put his foot and back into this shit, the ward tee,
God
bro.
damn.
thank you,
Oh,
thank
it's
you.
embroidered too.
This from Meuces. Look at the tag. My son be going off, bro. Y'all be playing with Harvey.
But even then, it's like I don't want to do T-shirts anymore and stuff like that. But
No, this
that,
is fire.
like
bro.
even that,
Appreciate
I
it.
could have did
Thank
better.
you.
You're welcome, no problem. Even then, I could have did better packaging, better things on that. That's that's what high fashion and luxury is. But like I said, it's you live and you learn. So as I'm going through, I'm like, all right, and this is like from my experience working with the crate. Shout out to the crate. Shout out to Terrell. Shout out to Soho. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Mitch. Shout out to everybody there. Them niggas is great. It's like as you start to understand the difference between streetwear or a like regular brand versus like a luxury brand, they operate different. So from the way that things are packaged, from the way that things are sent to you, or
Presentation.
it's all about presentation, bro. And the way that you present not only your product on Instagram, but your product when niggas get it like that, that to me is unacceptable.
Yeah, it's
now-
more like a streetwear
Yeah.
type of packaging where it's like, say if like, I'm gonna say for example, if you go to any like brand name like a Gucci or something, when you get a packaging, it's in like a strong paper bag where it's like you can feel the quality within the bag itself, where people usually sometimes don't even want to throw out the bag.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's about. Like, I'm in a class right now at FIT, and I'm learning more about this. And that's one of the things that they talk about is, like, if somebody get a box from Tiffany's, people don't throw out the box. What makes us not throw out the box?
That feeling.
Exactly. Now that feeling is important because if, like, even in the class, I'm learning that when people shop, people don't shop off necessity. Only people who shop off necessity is those who don't have that much money.
Yeah.
So they might start saying, oh, I only got $40. All right, I know that I need $10 here to go buy toilet paper for this week, and I gotta save this 30 and probably go buy some groceries. And even then, they're not buying the most, they're not buying chuck steaks. Niggas is buying skirt steaks. Like, they buying what they need. But when it comes to, like, when you go above that, people are buying off of emotion. They buy what I know this is gonna make me look good. Or even then, when it comes to luxury, they're creating things that people know, or not people know, but is gonna make people feel and look good.
It's not just the product, is what comes with the product.
Yeah, absolutely. And the feeling. So, like, if somebody, like, this bag right here, this is just a sample. I just brought this today because I wanted to just match. This is an old sample. Oh shit, my fault. But this is an old sample. Even then, I've showed people this bag, and the bag is just a 2-in-1 bag. It's 2 bags in one. Look like one from the side, but it's 2 bags.
Oh shit, that's fire.
Thank you. But even then, it's like when people, like he just said, that's fire, right? Now, if he's wearing that and he's thinking that's fire, he's gonna look it on him and be like, that's fire. Like, I know I'm wearing something fire. Like, and even then, people are gonna see it. People are gonna look at it like, nah, like, where'd you get that?
Exactly. And you don't even, I've never seen something like that before, too.
And that's the thing. That's the thing, too.
Yeah, while we're still here, I want to talk about the pivot from malware to Meuces, because I feel like that was something, even though it was a fucked up moment when you got the trademark taken from you, I feel like that was almost needed to happen for you, because Meuces is, I feel like, more on brand with your growth as a person than malware was. Malware, you said your inspirations was kind of being in high school, seeing what people was wearing, and you wanted to do better. But now I feel like you jumped into the pool of fashion, and now you're in it, and it's like something different. And now it's not just putting something that you made on a computer on the clothes. It's like making the clothes actually itself, really being in depth with like pattern making and all these different things that I never knew about fashion. I came into unless I talked to you about it. So I really feel like that was an important, not just an important thing for you, but it made sense for that switch from malware to Meuces. I feel like that was more on trajectory to where your life would have been going, because I can't imagine you now still making like t-shirts and shit, because I would always have arguments with this nigga like, yo bro, why don't you just drop t-shirts, bro? If you're doing fashion, you could do this and make bread while you in it. And he's like, nah bro, I don't want to do that. I'm trying to focus on
quality over
making
quantity.
fashion. And there was a difference. It's when somebody, what do you call when somebody's walking down like the runway type shit?
Just runway pieces. There's
you
ready
wanted
to
to
wear. There's ready to wear. There's couture. Couture is like the highest, because couture is like usually made by hand.
Yeah.
So like people are sitting there like in a house, and usually couture you can only buy if it's made in France or Italy. I'm pretty sure it's France or like Paris, and that's where you can only name it that. It has to be made there.
And you're into all of that now, and I want to ask, I know you said your inspirations came from being in school and stuff, but I feel like there's more. What's your motivations and inspirations to why you do fashion now compared to when you just started?
So my motivations and inspirations now have changed from back then, because back then I didn't really have an inspiration and like motivation. My motivation was like just self-fueled. Like, it was like, all right, like, I just want to do this so that I can like make something. And it's like sort of like comparing, like, I want to make something better than the next person, when it's like there's no real motivation there. So after a while the motivation will fade, because it's not something that's like something that you can really like measure. So now my motivations is just making, because as like you're saying, when it comes to Meuces, it's sort of on par with who I am now. And the reason things are changing is because it's not even if you're creative. If you're doing anything in life, you have to focus on the journey. because back then I was focused more on the outcome of things. Now I have like it, because if you focus on the outcome, you're gonna miss out on. It's like, all right, it's like this. Like if you're driving in a car, and you might be listening to music, right? Like let's say you're in the passenger seat. If you just sitting there on your phone and you're focused on like, all right, like yeah, it's 30 minutes away, bro, but you're not looking up, you're gonna miss everything around you. You're not gonna really pay attention to the trees, or somebody might be next to you, might be, I don't know, you might be in danger. You're not paying attention, so you're not focusing on the journey. You're focusing on, all right, yeah, we 30 minutes away, bro. Like make a left here, make a right here. But as you focus more on the journey itself, you start paying more attention to the things that need to be paid attention. So like once I started Meuces, and my dad was telling me this a while back. He's telling me like, if you want to be a real fashion person, you have to start sewing. And I didn't, ignorance is bliss. So I didn't want to give into that, because I know that's not true. I know there's fashion designers out there who don't sew. There's fashion designers out there who don't pattern make. They have people do that for them, but they have the creative the creative ideas to put on paper, and then somebody else will translate it. So, but for me, now I wanted to start doing it. I wanted to get into sewing and get into pattern making, because that shit is very interesting and it's very intricate. Like,
wasn't your grandma a seamstress as well?
and that's the thing. I didn't know that until fucking, like, what is it, 2020? I didn't know that until 2020. Like, I heard about it, but I didn't know how, like, nice she was until, like, my aunt told me. She's like, she was like, I think I went somewhere. She's like, shoot, your grandma would be so proud of you right now if she was alive. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, my mom's grandma? Because my dad don't really speak about my grandma like that. So she's like, no. She's like, your dad's grandma. She was like,
your dad's mom.
Yeah, she was like, she's a seamstress. She used to sew and, sew up dresses and sew up
That's
like,
how you had that
clothes.
sauce to tell you, yo, you gotta sew if you're trying to really get nice at it.
That too, but at the same time, it's like, it felt to me like at the time it didn't feel like that to me. Like it felt like more like a detriment. Like like he's like trying to block. Like, yo, you got to do this to do that. When it's like I said, it's not true. There's always outliers. And even then, it's like I feel like that seamstress like stuff is in my blood now, because I didn't know that. Now that I know that, I'm like, okay, like maybe there's a reason for me to keep going down this path.
Yeah, talking about blood, do you feel like your upbringing or your cultural background has anything to do with who you are today? And of course it has to do with who you are today, but what it has to do with your career?
I feel like it does, because we have to pay homage to home.
Where you from?
I'm from here, but I'm just saying my family's from Haiti. So it's like, even then, when I get to that point of, like I'm making millions and raking in mad money a year, I have to pay homage to them, because without that, I wouldn't even be here.
Facts.
It's like you have to like, and it's weird.
That shit puts a drive in your body a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does, because if you start thinking about it, people over there don't have the opportunities that we have here. So if I can pay homage and get them opportunities to, further themselves creatively, or even further themselves in, the way that they live, that's it. I did what I needed to do at the end of the day. I made a change.
I feel that. That's respectable, bro. I feel like everybody needs to have that kind of mindset when it comes to their people,
Of course, that's the mindset you're supposed to have. Like, bro, one of my goals, and I don't care about saying it, because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna have it happen, is to open schools. Like, I want to open like creative, like, I don't know if y'all ever heard of this like school that was called the Boss. It was like a school in Germany, like a small school in Germany, and they were like teaching kids like not how to be creative, but bringing out that creative side of them at a young age, like pre-K, bro. So they were telling kids, okay, like, do this in a grid, like make this, and then as you like, and this is like every single designer or graphic designer or anything like that, they know about the Boss, because once you reach that like knowledge and you start touching on the Boss and you start being like, they teach you so much shit that you just didn't know. And I'm trying to create that little like that catalyst for my like Haiti. I'm trying to create that catalyst not only for there, but in open schools anywhere I can, where people don't have, like I said, don't have access to, you know, that knowledge or and hands on. So I'm gonna have to have people like a curriculum and do shit like that. But that's all in the future.
So what I want to ask is to get back on the fashion thing and your creativity. What do you feel like you bring differently creatively to fashion and just any art that you do in general? What do you feel like you bring differently?
I feel like I bring a different perspective. I feel like when I say perspective, it's like, because everybody has their thing that they do good, and everybody, like I said, you can't think that you know it all. You can't think that you know you are like the it guy, because you gonna meet somebody else who know more than you. They might be old. I might meet a lady who's 50 who knows how to construct the most complex seams. And
But I feel like that's not to violate, but I feel like that's low key a cop out answer, because I feel like everybody's like, if we all make music, all of our perspectives is gonna be different.
but when I
towards
say
music.
when I say perspective, I'm not talking about like, of course the perspectives are gonna be different, but what I mean by that is like, so I can add a perspective. Not a lot of people can do that.
It's
So
like
how do you add your perspective is what I'm trying to say.
If I add my perspective, so all right, so to do that, I'll have to segue into the type of clothes that I'm making, right? The type of clothes that I'm making are avant-garde or contemporary pieces, which is pieces that aren't really for the like regular people. So these are pieces that, you know, you might see.
Typically in like runway fashion.
I mean, there's a bunch of runway fashion, but not a lot of like, not all brands are avant-garde or contemporary. And what I mean by that is like, it's art. So when I sit there and I might, you know, think about something, I'm thinking about it not on the surface level. I'm thinking about it way deeper than I should be thinking about it. So I might be like, all right, you know what, you can do it. Like with this. When I made it from a sketch, and I was like I'm sitting there and I'm sitting with Mitch, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, what if I made a bag that looked like one bag, but it's two bags?
Definitely fried Harvey at that time.
Definitely wasn't fried, but I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there, I'm like,
he said that's a high
I'm
thought
like,
right there.
What if I did that? And that's what I mean. Like, it's something like I bring this like art. I can say like an artistic point of view to things, like, and that's not something a lot of people can do.
What brought that thought? Like, what got you to the point of being like?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's
It just sometimes it just pop up
it just
in your
comes
head.
to you, and that's like the best part of, you know, doing
Creation.
this. Is that I don't have to think so hard. It's just, it might come to me, and then even then, there's people who've done this bag already, like, and I didn't know. But when I start seeing that, I start seeing those little parallels. It's like, okay, I'm on the right track, because if I like, one of my inspirations is Rei Kawakubo, the woman who started CDG. And when you start looking at her runway pieces and how she is, and bro, it might look crazy, but you got to understand, in order to construct crazy, you got to be so knowledgeable.
What's her name again?
Rei Kawakubo.
Rei Kawakubo.
Yes.
Where's she from?
Japan.
Yeah, it sounded mad Japan. Right
So
there.
you sit there and you start looking at it, and it's funny because there's something I posted on my story today. It's by it's a quote by I think it's in a song called Shell, and it's by, if I'm correct, his name is, let me get this correct, Kenny Mason, and he said, let me actually quote it like correctly. I'm sorry, give me a second. He said, you start changing the way that you look at shit, and then the shit you start looking at change.
So what you change on the way your perspective on the inside, the way how you feel about the world changes, and like,
Yes.
I get that, because I was arguing about sometimes you argue with people about like their problems, right? And then like a lot of the times when I argue about somebody about them and their problems, I realize like the reason why they're having these problems is because they're thinking in a certain way that's like they're almost putting life against them in a way, and it's kind of their fault because they're thinking like that. So the only way to change that is to change how you're thinking about the world. I could be having a wake up and be like, oh, I'm having a bad day, you know, and that kind of affect how I look at the world. And now I'm thinking, now all these things start happening. I'm like, yo, this is really a bad day, but it's really because of how I'm thinking about the world. That's what's affecting me.
And when I bring that up, the reason I bring that up is because when you start looking at, like I said, to me, fashion is art. It's not even to me. This is just a fact. Fashion is art. So when you think about it, if fashion is art, and this is something Yoji Yamamoto was like, he has like a gray area on
Who's
this.
Yamamoto?
He owns a brand. He's a designer as well. Yoji. He's he likes dressing like most of his color is black. He likes like designing in black. So he'll design suits and hats. Nah, I can't say emo, but he just likes that color so much. And even then, it's like he was debating on this if fashion designers can be considered artists. And when I think about it, I'd have to say yeah, because as humans we take in so much information, but how the fuck did this come out?
Yeah.
Something inside of me had to like do something and connect and be like, okay, let's, my brain had to push out this and I can't say my brain had to push out this idea, but I had to receive something to push out this.
I'd say you're artists and you have different mediums, and one of your medium of creating art is through fashion and making clothes, you know?
But like, what is when it comes deeper down to it, it's like, what is the meaning of an artist? Because it's like, an artist can be, I feel like an artist is somebody who creates.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you creating that is a work of art right there in itself, because guess what? When you were thinking of it, you said you had to sketch it.
Yeah.
So you had to sketch it, make it, and then once you make it, now you have to mold it, which is you sitting there and creating it. So it's, if anything, this can be seen as a sculpture. You see what I'm saying?
Sense, yeah.
So it's like
it's like moving sculpture.
Yeah.
And it's funny you said that, because that's another way people look at it too when it comes to fashion. Is like you have to, and that's where good fashion and luxury fashion comes in, and that's why I mentioned Rei Kawakubo, because like I said, when it comes to making things look a certain way, silhouettes and fucking just because like you said, it's sculpture, so you have to sculpt the body. You have to make things look a way on a body, which includes, pattern making and, doing seams and making this thing look. You're gonna have to do so much shit. You're gonna I had to sew. This is the second sample. I have another sample after this, and then I have a fourth sample that I have to make. So I have to make 4 different versions of this bag and make the patterns adjust them and make them sit a certain way so that way I can actually get to the finished product. And even then, after a while, it might not be after I sell it, I might not even be finished. I might be like, damn, I could make this better.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But
I think as an artist, bro, sometimes we never gonna stop seeing stuff that we can make better. And what I heard, this guy in Code Sticks came on the pod, and I showed him one of my songs. And he was like, and the way I look at my music, I could always make it better, this, that, and the third, and it causes me to never put shit out. He was like, bro, this shit is amazing. Just put it out, and whatever you feel like you could improve upon it in the next piece, Because then the world will never ever be able to see what you made, and I feel like that's important.
I say it is important, definitely, and he worded that super correctly. And but there's something that it's like a quote where it comes down. It says an artist is never finished. There's no work that's ever finished by an artist, because like you said, there's always something that can be done better. And one of the inspirations for me even doing this is Leonardo da Vinci. So, and one thing that I say, Justin, when it comes to luxury as well, is that you have to look up to great people.
Yeah.
Mentors. Yeah, not mentors, yes, but even then, if you have a great mentor, that's good. But it's not just mentors, and
you gotta look at everybody that's been in the same field as you, and not just field, but just creating an example and how they were so great and what made them great in order to match them.
That too, but you have to adapt that, and I feel like a lot of people don't want to change themselves. Like I said with that quote by Kenny Mason, when you start looking at different shit, you're gonna have to change your perspective. Like, bro, when I go to museums and I'm looking at, you know, a Vincent van Gogh painting, I'm not looking at it like, all right, this is a painting on the wall. Oh, that's cool. Bro, I literally go up so close, bro. I'd be like, I'm looking at the paint smudges and how he paints and which ways. It's like much deeper than just looking at it surface level. Because you have to sit there and learn. Like, I can go to the museum and learn off of different things, and that's another thing that I could say I bring to the table. That ability to learn. Like, I'm good at learning, bro. Bro, I sit there. I didn't go to fashion school to create this shit. I didn't do any of this. I'm going to classes now and stuff because I know I have to not pick up the pace, but I have to pick up myself up, you know, and that's okay. But even then, it's like you have to start looking at better things. And most people want to be comfortable and sit where they're at and be like, okay, like, I'm just cool with this, you know, whatever. But after a while, you're gonna get tired of that, bro. You're gonna get tired of creating like the same, like sort of like the same way, and you're gonna want to up it. I'm crying. Shout out to Up It.
Up it. Yeah, to go off of that, I was watching a podcast just recently on just because I feel like I've been like in this weird area in my life where I'm just like, yo, I got to do everything myself. I'm the only one that can do this. I'm me. And what the person was saying was, you cannot expand or you cannot get better if you don't allow other people's mindsets to also come in and also give you different perspectives, different ways of thinking about certain ways and different ways of handling a certain situation. Because now it's like, yeah, you might have this one system that works, but just because you're so stubborn and you're like, no, I don't want to pick up that other system because it might not work. But now, what if you learn that system and then along with your system, you bring it together and now you might have created a whole new system that can now be be now like, what's the word? Like changing, like life changing or like world changing, where it's like, wow, like you never knew that you could have reached this point if you didn't allow other perspectives to come in, like what you were saying before. Like if you didn't allow yourself to sit there and look at those other artists, and even not only in one field but in other fields also.
Of course.
Like you can't just look at, all right, yeah, I'm a part of this niche, but you got to look at the other stuff too, like other successful artists within just the field of fashion. Yeah, so like I really resonate with that because that's what I've been dealing with when it comes to business in general, where I'm like, yo, like I feel like I'm doing all the work, I feel like I'm doing this and that, but I don't see any improvement, I don't see anything. And then it's like, then you got like 15 other entrepreneurs that's either growing or it's been there or the thing, and they're like, yo, like it's not good enough. That's not there. It's like, if you want to be better, you got to be able to, one, learn.
Yes.
You have to be able to learn, and you have to be able to listen. Like those are the two like very important things that you have to do.
Those two things are, you simply have to be open-minded to do that.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of people, because like I said, people think that they're right, bro. Like, and it's even if you are right, you still might be wrong. Like 10 years down the line, what you said might change. Like I said, you have to be open to changing. You, like you said, and I feel you on what you're saying when it comes to like doing everything yourself. And that's something that I've learned that is not a good way to go, because that's something that, you know, my like, I look at when I was young, I always look at my dad as like one of my biggest inspirations, because he used to do like everything by himself. But now that I've grown up, I sit down and I look at him like, he's just trying to control shit. You can't control, you can't be everything at one time.
Yeah.
And if you are everything at one time, that's because you had the proper training.
Damn, that's crazy that you looked at him like, yo, he used to do everything by himself. He got older and he's still doing everything by himself, but it's like through a different lens now. It's like, damn.
Yeah, it's
he could have did better if he let people help him.
Exactly, and
that's the one thing that I once I seen the podcast, I thought of like how my brother and other people that I see that's been doing something for like 10 years, 15 years, and I'm like, yo, like, I see where they're at, and I'm like, but why are you not even bigger? And it's like, because everything was just done within them. It's like, or just within him. And it's like, bro, if you were to give other people those chances of like, yo, I want you to come on my team, and delegate your time and energy within other people, and just learn to trust other people. Because yeah, you're gonna end up getting somebody on your team that's not gonna be good, but guess what, you learn why they weren't good, and then the next person that you hire, or the next person you have come onto your team, you like, this is what I expect, this is what I see, this is what I learned from the last person I had.
And I feel like what you're saying is just simply you start developing standards. And that's what every single thing on quality is about. You have to have this certain standard, and you have to like smash it, bro. Like you have to literally skyrocket past that standard after a while, because there's people, like I said, there's people who's comfortable with their standard. There's people who's comfortable with sitting there like, all right, yeah, I'm cool with, shipping out shit like that, and, giving people products like that. But after a while, like I said, you have to be open to change, and people don't like criticism. Like you have to be open to getting criticized. And that's another thing. You also like, and it works both ways if you're critical of yourself, because you might be critical of yourself too much and it's not helpful. But you can be critical of yourself and be like, okay, like if that's how I feel, like I can do better, then I can do better, and that shit, like you said, also when it comes to developing a team, that, how can I say, it's not easy developing a team, like a team that's really gonna work together, because you have to find the right people. But that's the thing, life brings you together around certain people so that you have the right people. It's just about putting the pieces together, and that's another thing. You have to understand how to lead.
I think it's about, at the end of all of it, is just wanting it. How bad you want it, bro, because regardless, once you meet up into this obstacle, it's like, all right, I can't do shit by myself, right? If you want this goal that involves whatever you need to achieve it, you gonna do it if you want it. That's what I'm saying. I feel like if you want something, you gonna get it, but it's just as bad as how much you want it. Because if you really don't want it that much, you ain't gonna
you're not gonna get it at all.
Yeah. And also, what I want to bring up too is I feel like since I've known you, I've known a lot of different versions of Harvey, but also I've known, like, I could also say that you stayed yourself. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but you stayed core Harvey, but also you changed a lot as well. And one of your pivots that I feel that caused a change, not in your personality as much, but like maybe in your work ethic or where you're going in life, is working for the crate, or working with the crate, and working with Mitch.
Yeah, because that's why I said you get around people who know more than you. Like Mitch knows more than me. People who work at the crate know more than me because they have experience. That's why I put on, like, my story a while ago, you need knowledge, experience, and experience. You don't have to do shit for money. Like people, that's what I mean. That's an outcome. Money is an outcome. It's an effect.
Yeah.
People like to sit there and want all the money, but then you're missing out on opportunities. Just because somebody ain't gonna pay you, don't mean that you're gonna not learn. Like, bro, I did like a video shoot. Like I was helping on a video shoot one time, and that's why I say for me it's not about money, because I can meet the right person and now we're connected. And did that require any exchanging of money? No. Did that just require me doing something? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I wanted to do it.
It's an investment within yourself, though.
It's an investment within yourself, but not only within yourself, but within the other person as well.
So what you trying to say? Money ain't everything. Life is. There's a lot more to life than just money. I think that's greed, bro.
And I feel like the reason I say that there's a lot more to life than money is because if you think about it, what's created first, life or money?
Life.
So it's always gonna be that way.
Yeah.
It's not gonna change. Money isn't gonna override life. That shit don't make no sense.
Money is a very new concept that's just been brought around the time of like capitalism, past bartering. Niggas used to
Hell
never
no.
even use money.
From the beginning of time, money's been
No,
big.
there used to be a different system. We used to
Yeah.
barter, bro.
I'd be
Well,
like,
I'm
yo,
saying,
I'll
like,
trade you.
currency.
I'll trade you this bag because it has functionality for one cow because I might
Yeah.
need that cow, but you might need this bag.
But that's what I'm saying. So, but then guess who? But guess who
After
was the richest
bartering,
man?
after bartering, then currency was created.
But I'm saying, but who was the richest men at that time? It was like the farmers or the
But then
people
was
who
it
made the natural resources.
Was it richest at the time, or was it just like who had like who was more? I can't say rich. I can say who was valuable.
Yeah. If you
'Cause-
provide the most value, you're gonna get the most in return.
Like if you think about it, who's still the richest? Farmers. They got land. if you think about it, it's also, that's why I said it's knowledge. Because if you sit there and like if you study shit, like in order for you to get better at doing business and entrepreneurial ventures and doing other shit, you're gonna have to learn, bro. Like you said, you're gonna have to learn.
Yeah.
But even then, like that's why people might go to school. Like me personally, I'm good at learning by myself. I'm good at sitting there and reading. The reason I learn most of this shit is I sit there and read the fashion books and how to pattern make, and it's easy for me to learn that. But that's not something everybody can do. But that's something that I could sit there and do. And even then, hands-on stuff is good, and you know, shit like that. But that's, everybody has their own thing. But you have to learn.
If fashion was hard for you, would you still do it?
Yeah. Fashion is not easy, bro. Regardless, that shit is not easy. None of this shit is easy. It's just about, do I have the drive to sit there and, you know, and drive, perseverance, and patience to sit there and go through it, what I still want to go through it. Like you said, it's been what, like 6 years? I'm still doing this shit that, and I can't say I'm doing the same shit, but I'm doing still in the same realm of what I was doing before. But now I'm just getting better and, you know, doing different things. And that's something I feel like.
I'd say you're doing the same shit. If not the same shit, you're definitely deeper in your field.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. Is like, you can't stay surface level. You can't just think that that's okay. And, you know, putting that out is okay. Like, you always supposed to want to, like, when it comes down to standards, better the standard. And that's what's going to make you stand out. Because if you look like everybody else, you're not going to get nothing, bro.
Tell you was about to say you're not gonna get no bitches.
Now I'm crying. No.
You're not about to get no bitches if you look like everybody else.
Nah, not even. But it's like, even then, you still might not.
Yeah.
You gotta look different, or you know, be different. And that's when it comes to that conversation I was having with you at your house a while ago. Like, we're all energy, right? So if I walk in a room, my energy is gonna carry me. Your energy is gonna carry you, and we're all gonna attract different people and, you know, different shit. But at the end of the day, that's all it is.
I feel you. Well, I have this one question. I have a lot more questions, but this is more veering off from fashion now. We could always step back into it. But what do you hate about fashion? What's one thing you hate about fashion, and what's one thing that you love about it?
One thing I hate about fashion, I'd say one thing I hate about fashion is crazy. Oh, one thing I hate about fashion is fast fashion.
That's the one of the, when I asked this question, when I thought about this question, I knew that like fast fashion was in my brain. Like I knew that was probably gonna be an answer.
Bro, that shit is whack. Cause it's like, there's no quality. Like there might be people who are, you know, actually trying their best to, you know, create and give you like a good product, like that quality. But people are always going, and that's the thing. That's where I said it comes down to like, regular people are gonna shop at regular stores. Regular people are gonna shop at Zara. Regular people are gonna shop at H&M. And this is why people be like, "Oh, you basic," it's like, yeah, like, yeah, no offense. But there's nothing wrong with it. But at the same time, you're gonna wear that dress. If a girl buys a dress at Fashion Nova, she's not gonna wear that dress 100 times because that dress is not gonna last.
If you had an opportunity to make something for H&M or Fashion Nova or something, would you?
Honestly, I would, but I don't think their budget would allow it.
What if they was like, nah, Harvey, you're not fucking with, but we fuck with your idea. Make something within this budget.
It'd have to be quality. It would have to, like, I would have to, like,
They gonna make socks for $15.
socks for $15 is crazy. Socks for 40. I'll make a sock that got 3 socks.
Nah, that's crazy.
That sounded crazy right there.
A sock with 3 socks? I can't even. I'm trying to.
I was just sitting there like, ridiculous.
The sock with 3 socks, it's a sock, but then the sock got
You flip
3.
it inside out and it's a
bro,
different
listen,
flavor, and then you flip
listen.
it back out and there's a third flavor out of nowhere.
Listen, bro. You got the ankle sock, calf sock, knee sock, but they all in one.
Adjustable sock.
Not even adjustable. You could take the ankle sock off. Now you got 2 socks.
Now
You got 2 socks and you got wristbands.
Now you got the tube.
It's retarded. But it's like I said, it's just that's where I'm saying it comes down to like looking at, you know, what your medium is different. Like the way I look at things is different, and that's why I might be, you know, asset to people instead of a liability, because I'm actually in it. You know, I might believe in these ideas so much so that, you know, I can bring them to reality. But no, I wouldn't. Like I said, if their budget allows it and it's about quality and they're not, you know, I get to choose certain things, I have like this creative control, I would do it.
They said, yo, Harvey wants you to be a head designer of Zara.
Head designer of Zara, I'd have to change their whole. Oh, I'm not even a CEO. I can't change their whole business model.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't do it, bro. I'm sorry.
Damn. Nigga not fucking with these fast fashion niggas.
Bro, I just bought some pants from Zara. Those shit didn't even last 3 months, bro.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying. This shit is whack.
What do you mean by it didn't last 3 months? Like,
Bro, if you making a product, like if I'm making this, I'm making sure that when I'm like sewing
Bro,
and
I had this shit for years.
that's what I'm saying. That shit
But
like,
if this shit didn't last the years, bro, this shit would have ripped off. This shit would have ripped off. All this leather material would have been peeling off and shit. It's meeting its years. It's I got my use out of it. But still, look at it. I don't know how long you made this bag for now.
I think I made that back in 2018.
Bro, I had a bag since like 2015. That shit is torn to shreds. You can't use that shit no more, bro. That shit valid. That's what it means by quality, bro. How long does John last before it should
He
start
probably got
degrading
more
on
than
you?
100 uses out of that, and that's
Way
what's-
more than that.
That's
you
when
got
it's
limited uses. It's still using it right now.
And like I said, that's what I don't like about fashion. It's simply just fast fashion. But one thing I do love about fashion is how intricate it can get. So how, you know, actually complex products can get. And that's where it comes down to pricing. Like, if I'm making these bags, I'm not selling these bags for $40. Are you fucking stupid? This bag took me like a week to make? And you want me to sit there and sell it for $40?
They can make $50. I make $50 in like maybe 3 hours, 2 hours. They can make that.
Bro,
Doing Uber
even
Eats
less,
or recording.
bro. Even less, bro. But even then, that's what I'm saying. It's like now it's quality, because time also equals quality. The more time you spend on something, and that's not necessarily true, because some people could just be bullshitting. Some people could spend 6 hours doing something, but the quality is not there because that's not what they're looking at,
Or they didn't have the knowledge to even make
or
it.
that too. And that's where it's like I said, you learn as you go, and that's okay. That's what life is about.
That's why time and quality, when you put them together, that's what makes it even more expensive, because it's like if you give one of the top fashion, I'm not really into fashion, I don't really know the names, but say you give them a deadline now and they're like, yo, we need this done, we need you to drop something within freaking 2 weeks or a week, and it's like a whole collection or something. Like, you know, you're gonna get quality out of them, and since now you're giving them a smaller time frame, guess what? You're gonna have to pay way more money for them to drop for them. So it's like, that's when you get into those like millions and multi-million-dollar drops, where now the drop, when it comes out, it's like $10,000 for the collection, or like freaking.
Yo, did you see that though? There's this clothing brand called like Lowy or something like that, and they got the pixelated shit, bro.
Yeah, I seen it.
I looked how much that shit was. I'm thinking about that shit, but it'd be like I could cop 300 beans,
You're
400.
crazy, bro.
Boy, that
Those
shit
are-
was
That
like
shit is intense, bro.
3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, $10,000, bro.
That shit is that's what I'm saying. That's where it's because when people look at clothes, they think it's like simple. Like that shit. If you think about it, there's so many steps that they had to take to do that. Like, all right, we have to cut out the fabrics, print on the fabric. That's two. Now they might have to treat the fabric so that shit don't do a certain thing. Like it might not rip or blah blah blah. Blah. That's 3 steps. Then you gotta sew. That's more than. I'll add sewing. I'll add 3-4 more steps to that, bro. So now we're at fucking 8 steps, bro. 8 steps, and that dress is not even completed.
And then you gotta do that multiple times. Add the time to that it took to do all of that.
And then you gotta think about it. Everybody gotta get paid.
And then not even just that. What I heard also goes to the thing is your expertise. So like some niggas could give you the same product in 10 hours, but some niggas could give you the thing in 5 hours. But it's not. You don't get paid less because he gave it to you quicker. You get paid more because I gave it to you quicker, because it took expertise. All the time that it even took me to get to that level where I could make it in 5 hours, you gotta pay for that.
And that's where it comes into like people getting in different lanes. Like something I'm learning now, and that I wish I knew before, is that when you deal with manufacturers, make sure that you're looking at the products that they're making is like in line with the product that you want, because they don't have the expertise that you're looking for. So like for me, bro, I went to a sample room and I was like, yo, can y'all make this bag for me? A sample? Guess how much they charged me for that sample, bro? To make a sample like that.
$200,
Nope.
300,
Nope.
$40,
Nope.
600,
Nope.
nah,
2,000.
800.
Nope. Oh, close.
2,000, you said?
Close.
Yeah. $3,000.
No. Lower.
250.
Lower.
1.5,
2,000.
Lower.
1.4.
About that.
Damn.
$1,400 to make a sample like this.
Yeah, they tweaked.
But if anything, that shows you that you dropping some heat.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm sitting here. I'm learning. I'm like, if they gonna charge that, I might as well sew it up myself, make my little mistake.
Because you better have niggas in there going like, doing mad shit
They're
to
like,
make
yo,
the...
this shit is mad different, son.
But even then, it's like that might not have been the right people too. The reason they might have been charging so much is because they don't know how to do it yet.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to. I might have to send them the bag, like, yo, look at how I constructed it, or I might have to make a video, like, yo, this is how I'm constructing this, blah, blah, blah. And even then, that's where it comes down to fashion is techniques. Anything is technique, bro. Even in boxing or fighting or dancing,
yeah.
it's techniques. What are the techniques that you're using to get X, Y, and Z results? If you got the wrong technique, you're gonna get the wrong fucking outcome every time.
That's why niggas be getting knocked out.
That part. And then when you start getting the right techniques, then it's like you're able to actually like tread the water and do it correctly and not fucking freak out or blah blah blah, blah. Like, and that's where it's like I'm saying, when it comes to manufacturers, bro, make sure that you're looking at the people who's doing the shit that you want to do, so that way when you send them your vision, they can actually bring that shit to life rather than just giving you some bullshit. And now you just spent $1,400 on some shit that niggas didn't even make what you wanted.
Yo, I went to Harvey's crib, seen this nigga sewing pants, seen this nigga make vests, seen this nigga make a whole suit of clothes, sew that shit himself. Seen this nigga make hoodies, sent them shits off. I seen this nigga make mad clothes. I seen this nigga make bags. You know what I'm saying? So you're doing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this is just all going under the brand Meuces, right? But I know it's for not just for that, but just putting time and knowledge into yourself, investing in yourself, and just, well, even if this is not what I'm gonna make for my brand, as long as I know how to make this and I could do it for whatever I want to do, I could. You know what I'm saying? So what I want to ask you is, what are your future endeavors for Meuces, or not just Meuces, just fashion and making clothes in general?
So I would say for my future endeavors, it would have to deal with I'm probably in the future, like probably in like my 30s, get into like interior shit. So like tables, like fucking couches and chairs and shit like that.
Product design.
Basically, yeah, but that shit is gonna take time because the more you learn about this, like I said, it's all, and it's funny because everything is connected. So if I could do this to this, I could probably do this to wood, but that's gonna take a whole different machine, a whole different person, whole different expertise.
All them years, only 6 years you took to just do all this shit is a whole nother 10 years to do all of that shit.
And even then, that's where I'm gonna have to, go get a mentor and go might partner with somebody and actually like flesh it out. But even then, it's like my future stuff is definitely, like I said, it's gonna be like interior stuff and probably like fragrances, bro. But fashion is still gonna be there. That's always gonna be something I'm 100% down to do, bro.
Well, what you call it? There's this guy named Blasey. I feel like I brought him up to you mad times. I don't even mean to bring another nigga up in the interview, but like he makes a lot of products. Like this nigga made he made like a vase out of a bag, like a Louis bag, but it's a vase.
And that's product. That's another thing. It's like that's quality. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and I seen he made like recently he made some like bullet hole mirrors.
Yeah. I peeped that.
Even then, it's like that's something that somebody's going to want, bro. It's like you're gonna sit there and you have
Put that in Chicago, they go crazy for that.
What? But even then, that might not be the people who's gonna buy it. People who's gonna buy it might
I'm
be
just shitting on Chicago.
No, honestly, absolutely. But even then, that might be not the people who buy it, because they might not have the money. Because if you think about all this shit takes money, and somebody's not gonna sit there and be like, why the fuck would I pay $400 for some mirrors and I can just go to Target, and because they're living off necessity. Like I said, it's about means of living, and if the people I'm targeting when I'm making Meuces, I'm targeting the people with money, bro.
Facts.
You have money, cool.
Because you target the people with money. If you target people who like are living with necessity, it lowers what you can create.
Of
the
course,
quality,
and that's another thing. Like when people, create stuff, I always advocate for people to charge more, because it's like you got to think about it. Like if I'm going to make, like I said, if I make this bag and I charge $40, right? I could sell that bag for $40, but how much gas how much does my machine cost? How much does, what's the time that, like I said, time is something you can't get back. How much time did I put into this? Is it worth the $40 at that time? No, I have to go up. So, okay, is $100 worth it? No, 100, like I said, gas, right? That's, if you fill your tank, it's going to take what?
$50.
Yeah, bro. That's already half.
Yeah, that's literally.
$50 for this bag. That's my tank right there, boy.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's
Nigga,
already
it took
half.
me more gas to go get all the material for this shit. Come back.
Exactly, and that's where it's like you have to take into account like everything. Like, okay, all right. If it took me to buy this material, if it's like $20 a yard, right? This takes 4 yards. I'm already spending $80. How the fuck am I gonna make a profit?
Yeah, I forgot how it works, but what you do is first you put all the price starts after you put in what it costs you just to make that product. So it's like that you put in, all right, on average how much did it cost for each of the materials? On average, how much did it cost to do this? Now, how much would I pay somebody to now, or how much am I comfortable getting paid for each hour that I put in creating this? And then after that, now it's like, all right, what's my profit margin at? Do I want 45%? Do I want 50%?
And even then, you can go up, bro. You can have a 250% margin.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is something I always tell people when I tell them to increase their price. Niggas have money, bro.
Even the people that don't got money, they got money.
They have,
And if a nigga tell you don't got no money, you're not marketing.
You're not my customer.
And that's the thing. Like when it comes down to it, like I'm learning in this business class, what they said is, it's harder to increase your price if you start low than it is to decrease your price if you start high. So if I make this bag and I sell it for $300, and that's the thing, when you're able to sell something at a high price, that means you're on the right track. Like
Yeah.
this is not the. I've sold bags that I made before for $100. You know that. I sold bags for $150. But it's like if I can sell one product for that price, what the fuck am I gonna sit there and be like, yeah, $70? Nigga, get the fuck out my face. Like, bro,
Yeah,
I can go
past that.
higher. Yeah, I can go higher. And then it's gonna be like, all right, because they know when they
If I
got
found
that.
one nigga that buy it for this, bro, you're not the only nigga that gonna buy it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
bro. So it's like, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's easier to go down. So if, let's say I make something and I'm like, all right, you know what? For this, since it didn't require that much work, I'll charge $80. Niggas know that, oh, Harvey usually charges $150, $200 for this.
Yo, this is a steal. Let me get on that.
Exactly.
It's better than going from like, yo, I charge 80, I'd be like, you know, actually,
Not even, I
let's
charge 40 and then I go to try to charge 60. Niggas gonna start complaining, bro. Niggas
Yeah.
be, bro,
Oh,
I said,
God.
bro, I remember when you used to charge $40. What happened? And it's like, bro.
Exactly. It's like I remember when you used to charge $200, $80. Go on that.
Oh, dude.
That's when you find them fake supporters when they be like, yo, I'm on that, bro. I'm on that. Trust me, I freaking know. I just was at a Atlanta streetwear market.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard of it. It's one of the it's a big streetwear market down in Atlanta, and there was these dudes that was there, and they were charging like $300, $400 for their sweaters and stuff like that. And I was looking at it, I was just like, if they got people going crazy to buy they shit, and they got over like 17,000 followers buying they got traction over $300, $400 for what they had. I was looking at my nephew. I'm like, yo, bro, your shit look way better. I know the work you put in for this. You could definitely charge way more than what you charging for what you got right here, because people's already going crazy for what you got. So it's like, bro, don't even trip, bro. Don't even trip on being like, yo, I don't want to, because the thing is,
I don't want to put up my prices because niggas not gonna fuck with me.
Exactly. It's like, bro, then those are the niggas you not want to fuck with you, because they not real fans of who you are. Because
They
your
don't
fans,
value your work.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what it comes down to. Like I told you a long time ago, it's value that people are like. Once you start valuing yourself more, you have to change, bro. Like even in the song Steve Lacy was talking about, he's like, it's like change is normal, bro. If you're not changing, then that's not normal.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a fact.
Like, bro, you're supposed to, like, if high school me look at me now, it was like, this nigga, you sold a bag for $150. I started off selling $40 t-shirts. $150 is $110 more than $40.
Definitely successful if you compare yourself to when you first started.
And that's all that matters. And one thing that you said just now in successful is like, you have to determine your own version of success. Like,
yeah.
you can't compare your success to another person's success because y'all versions is different.
Yeah, you're gonna judge a nigga that's been through everything that you did when you still there, and then be like, oh, I'm never gonna make it because he's successful. I'm not. Nigga, you're not bigging up yourself for what you already did, all the fucking hurdles you done jumped across. You're looking at the nigga that jumped over 2,000
And you only did 100 hurdles.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, I'm not successful. Nigga, you got more shit to do.
I was not reading, but I was listening to an audiobook. I was telling Phil about it the other day, about some guy who was like, it's called like 10xing, where it's like, yo, you gotta 10x everything you do.
Like Grant
Yeah,
Cardone?
Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
It's a book from Grant Cardone where it's like 10xing, and it's not about just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna 10x the amount of products that I do. It's you 10xing the amount of time you put into it. You 10xing the amount of effort. You 10xing every aspect of your life, which would now create a better outcome. Because it's like, if I'm playing a slot machine and I'm doing it 3 times, I'm like, damn it, I never won. I mean, you
That's
played
a
the
bad
slot machine.
analogy.
Nah, it's not.
10x
It's
gambling.
I mean, you're right. It's because I gamble. I be gambling. My fault, man. My fault.
Nah, it's alright, bro. They're smart
Nigga,
gamblers.
after I did it 30 times, now I'm successful.
I mean, it's like, but that's what but you get what I'm trying to get, where it's like, yo, if you do something 10 times and then you do it 150 times, who's gonna be better at it? The person who did it 10 times or the person who did it 150 times? It's like when they say going into the gym and putting up 10,000 shots before you leave. It's like, you're gonna have the guys that's like, all right, yeah, my workout's done. All right, practice is over. All right, we're good. And then you got the Kobe's, the LeBrons, the MJ's that's staying in there, still shooting. And then there are people looking at them. It's like, yo, how is he so good? It's like, because he's practicing at his
Yeah.
craft.
Yeah.
He's putting in that 10,000 shots.
And I feel like, to just go off what you said, that 10x and stuff, it's like, it's not for the weak-minded people, bro. Like, you can't expect, like I said, it's all about people expecting outcomes. You can't focus on the
That's for
outcome,
niggas
bro.
who really want it, who really will be successful. Everybody
And-
say they won't be successful, but not everybody
wanna
want
put in that work.
Yeah,
Put
they don't
in the
want to put
work.
in the work, and that's the thing. It's like, you want the outcome of being successful, which is, you might look at it like the money, the car, but you got to think about it. That money and that car and that house and that business, that shit come with problems, bro. That shit
shit
is
come
not
with work. That shit come with a
you gotta
hurt back.
maintain. Like, the hardest thing to do is maintain that shit.
Yeah.
In order for me to keep having this nice car, I gotta do this. In order for me to keep having this nice house, I gotta do this. And it all points to work. I gotta put in the work to keep this shit.
Do you follow UFC?
No, that's the thing. I've just started boxing, and that's the thing. One weakness that I have, and it's good. One thing that I can say is good is noticing your weaknesses. But one weakness that I have is I have to research, like, because that takes time, and that's the thing. It's like, when you research stuff, you learn. All right, like, oh, like, this person might have done it, or you might learn about a new person. You might learn about somebody, a new route that you didn't know about, and you're like, all right, you know what if I tried it like this, and what if I did it like this? But UFC, I don't.
Yeah. So just recently there was a title fight between Adesanya and this guy named Alex Pereira, right? Adesanya was a perfect win. Like, he had a perfect winning record in the UFC. Like, he lost before, but to this guy, and so he's killing it in the UFC. Then now the guy that he's lost to before, where he got knocked out once and then lost another time to, that guy ends up coming to the UFC, and that guy's end up beating a few
Mad
people,
people,
and then
yeah.
goes goes fast to a title shot against him, right? So then now everybody's like, oh my god, like, this is the only guy that's knocked out Adesanya before. What's gonna happen now, right? And Adesanya's like, oh, like, I every time I've faced him, I've been beating him until he's knocked me out, right? And so now it's their third fight now, and everybody's like, oh, Adesanya's winning all 4 rounds. Oh my god, he's doing his thing. Final round comes, he gets knocked out again. And so now they get a rematch. So now Adesanya's like, yo, what I did was I got off the pedal, I didn't do this and that. I'm gonna work my ass off. I'm working. And the dude finally knocks him out. So now, like, he finally beat the person that was, people were thinking like, yo, this guy has his number. This is unbeatable, this and that. And then literally in his post-fight interview, he's just like, yo, if anybody is sitting here watching what happened today, it's like, the one thing I want you to take from it is the work, the effort that I had to put in just to be able to beat this guy. And it's not about like the happiness that I feel is from all the adversity that I had to face. The fact that I did lose to him 3 times, the fact that I had to work my ass off and do all this, and it finally paid off. He was like, this is the happiness, this is the outcome when that comes from working your ass off and really going through adversity and being able to, what's the word? Overcome the adversity, because he could have been like, yo, I can't beat this guy. I'm just not even gonna take a fight against him.
You
again.
gotta persevere. In
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
That's what I was saying. And one thing that you're saying right now that I can definitely attest to is like, and something that I'll connect it to what you were saying as well when it comes to self-reflection, is that anytime you lose, or there's no such thing as losses. We don't take losses. Like I always say, bro, it's not losses, it's lessons. So you have to learn from that loss. Like, you might have to, like, and one thing I can say, like, I don't know Demetrius, right? So I spar with him. So when we spar, if he hits me or something, I have to know, like, why did I just get hit? Okay, I have to analyze, like, okay, did I get hit because I let my guard down? If that's most likely the case. I let my guard down for a second, and people take advantage. So you can't you can't let that you can't let that happen in terms of like when people, what you would call it, like there's always gonna be somebody on it, bro.
Yeah.
And if you're on it more than them, you're going to win.
Every time.
You're going to win. And something that you said that like when it comes to that like adversity, the greater the adversity, it's like the more like work you're gonna have to like put to accomplish it, but the greater that like you said, the feeling of happiness that you'll get. So it's like you might be facing a lot of shit right now, but if you sit, and that's where creativity comes in. Creativity is simply problem solving, bro.
Yeah.
The more creative you are, the more problems you can solve. So if you sit there, and it's not just problems you can solve, but it's also how you can solve them. Like, so when it comes down to that, like, okay, if there's mad adversity happening around my life right now, what can I do to actually overcome this? Now, that's when you have to figure out what you can do. Does it require getting a job? Does it require putting more effort in on myself and then actually learning how to, do other shit? Like, what is the answer for me? And most, like I'm saying, most people want that success, bro, but they really don't. They don't know the work. Yeah, they don't know the work that come with that. They just see like and that's another thing with social media. They just see the outcome, because social media, you're not gonna be posting, yeah, I'm working all the time, like, because at the end of the day, nobody gonna want to fucking give a fuck about that, bro.
Nobody cares about you.
Yeah, nobody cares about that. They only care when you cross the finish line, and they're like, yo, I was rooting for you the whole time. Oh my god, it's like, bro, where were you when I was actually working?
Yeah,
like,
where were you when I needed you, nigga? Yeah. When I was alone. Now you want to get when I get all the money and the bread and.
Hey, yo, bro, I did you some fun with this, bro.
I remember when you was selling.
I'm the only nigga that can say when Harvey get lit, yo, what's that? I'm the only nigga that get the benefit of my boy excess. All y'all other niggas, fuck y'all niggas, bro. I'm gonna be up front. But I really believe in you. You can't never say I ain't never believe in you.
You're not
I
wrong.
always believe in you, even with the shit that you do when it comes to product design, bro. I know you the type of nigga that I get my work ethic from. Like, I feel like I have, but you inspire me a lot to just be a better person, bro. All in all aspects of my life, bro. You definitely help support me in a lot of this shit, bro. So, like, when your genuineness, your work ethic, I feel like that's some of the biggest qualities about you, and that's gonna take you a long way, bro. And I feel like,
appreciate it,
bro. You're not gonna fail. I never thought you was gonna one of them failing niggas. I always thought you was a smart nigga. So, whatever you got going and whatever you got ahead of you, bro, I know you're gonna knock that shit down, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm always gonna be there stepping with you, bro, because you ain't, even if you was falling, bro, I'm gonna be there to pick you up type shit. So, I'm definitely excited to see where you're going in life, bro.
and I appreciate that, because he's not wrong. When I had like, before I even had anything really, this nigga's always there, bro. So now it's like even with, like, when like when I started getting some money and doing things, first thing I did on his birthday, I got him the
MIDI controller.
Exactly. I bought me one, but I was like, I know my boy wants to do something.
I was gonna bring that shit up, bro. I've been saving that story, bro. Just not even for today, for a couple years down the line. When I get lit, I'll be like, yo, my boy Harvey.
Yeah, he doing the speech. He's like, yo, nigga got me a MIDI controller.
Bro, but I'm not gonna lie. One of the reasons I stayed doing music, because I've been doing music before I met Harvey, and then part of the time when we was fucking each other and being friends, like I rapped with him and shit.
My nigga fuck each other.
Fucking with each other and being friends.
Boy,
oh my god! Around the time when we was fucking with each other when we first grew up, bro, and I wasn't really into my music making shit. I wasn't really even my music making shit. Cause this is one of the other questions I want to get into before we wind down the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Is your other creative endeavors, you know?
Yeah.
Cause I know it's not just fashion that you do. You like I was about to say, a part of the reason why I continue doing music is I had a competitive thing with Harvey where he was learning the same shit I was doing, making beats and shit like that. More on the making beat side, I was more on the recording side, but made me want to get focused more into that. And when he got me the controller, that made me want to actually use it and be like, oh shit, my boy believe in me. Let me use this shit. And that was a part of the reason he would come over. I'll go over his crib and we make beats and shit like that. So yeah, this nigga is really a real right nigga. So that's why I was gonna ask you, what are your other creative endeavors like music, DJing, and I don't know
And
what
that's
else. You make food and shit.
I mean,
I don't know.
food is just something I just started learning because, bro, I'm not gonna lie, as a man, bro, and niggas might hate me for this, but I don't give a fuck because as a man, it's your responsibility to cook your own shit. It's your responsibility to get your own shit. So at the end of the day, if I get my own crib, right? I get my own crib. I'm gonna be the one to sit there and make my own shit and make it good. And and what's gonna end up happening is people are gonna respect you more for that because there's people who, the traditions, your wife make you food and blah, blah.
When it comes to cooking,
Y'all some two cooking ass niggas, boy.
Bro.
When it comes to cooking,
My shorty to cook me some
Nah,
shit.
bro,
no,
you
but
can't
this
be
is
doing that.
the thing. This is the thing. I'm definitely one of them type of niggas who definitely wants their girl to cook for because I've grown up with women in my household. So my mom and my sister has always been the people to cook for me. But that does not stop me from being passionate about cooking. You see what I'm saying? So I know how to whip it up. But the thing when it comes to cooking, I cook when I have like a creative like thought in my head when it comes to cooking. Like I don't just like cook on command like this. Like,
Nah.
For me it's almost like an art for whenever I cook.
Bro,
So like that's when it comes to cooking because cooking is more of like a passion where it's like I want to have quality food whenever I'm cooking it. So like people get mad at me like, oh, you only cook for yourself today. It's like because I didn't think it was good enough to give to everybody else.
And that's the thing,
that's
like
how I be cooking.
I respect that because me when I cook for everybody. But even then, like, bro, I've been cooking sometimes, bro. My brother and my nephew, they'll tell me like this shit's trash, and it's like, okay, like I'm gonna have to eat it. Like I'm gonna have to taste my own. And, like that's where it comes down to work too. Like if you think about it, you gonna be the only person that's gonna get the effect of whatever you're putting in.
Yeah.
Like if I'm cooking food, I'm gonna taste everything at the end, and if that shit tastes trash, that's on me.
Cooking is 100% accountability because
Yes, bro.
It teaches you that once you put in certain things when it comes to a certain product, it's like you got to go all the way in because guess what? You can't take shit out. If you put too much salt, guess what? You cannot take that salt
Not
out.
at all, bro.
So it's like,
And that's something that it's like saying when it comes to like what he's saying, like all that shit also gives you knowledge. So cooking gives me knowledge. Like you said, that right there, what you said, when you put the seed, that's an analogy. That's knowledge for somebody who's going to be able to get it. And it's like somebody who cooks is going to be able to understand that and then apply it to other aspects of their life.
that's why they say let them cook.
Let them cook. But even then, it's like when it comes down to DJing or like, and I can't say I'm like the nastiest DJ or anything because that's not true. But when it comes to doing these other endeavors, like I always tell people, one thing I would encourage people to do is experiment more. Like go outside of what you think you can do because you never know what you might pick up and be like, hold up, I'm low key gifted, like gifted in the sense that like you're good at this already, so you can build on that. Like, all right, I understand now that I might have an ear for music, I might have an ear for this or blah blah blah, but at the same time, just because like something my friend Mitch be saying, something just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. Like sometimes you might have to take a seat and be like, all right, you know what? Just because I might think I could, I'll chill for right now, bro. And you can pick it up later in life. That's another thing. As you grow older, you might like come across something and be like, all right, like me. I've made logos and I do that on just on the side to understand it's also art too. It's design at the end of the day, so it goes hand in hand with design. So if I'm creating a logo, this has to be symmetrical. I'm making a design now in fashion, this has to be symmetrical. And if I don't want it symmetrical, that's a thing that I'm putting on it. I'm like, all right, you know, asymmetrical now, that's also a thing. But it's like intentions. So only thing that I really can say that I take away from everything that I'm like been doing and, you know, experimenting with and making, you know, seeing if I like it or not, is like, it gives you courage. Because when I was in Chicago, shout out to Ryan, shout out to JT, and the whole Shiming group on Discord, is that like when because he was telling me, he's like, yo, you're gonna have to perform a set. Bro, I've never performed a set in my fucking life. I've never did anything in public, bro.
DJ
And
Harv gonna go crazy.
I never did anything in public, bro. So when I sat there and I started doing it, I realized that I don't have like this like fear of like doing things. Like if I want to do something, I'll do it. That's it, bro. That's it. If I want to, you know, skate down, and that's another thing where it comes down to like I said, all these things give you like, how can I say, like characteristics. Like courage is a characteristic. Not everybody's courageous, but you have to build on that. Like everybody has, you know, courageous things, you know, or courage within them, but you got to build on that like aspect of, you know, going out of your way to go do something. And when I did that set, bro, I was nervous as shit to do it, but when I was doing it, I was not nervous. I understand that, you know, I made a little mess ups in here and there, and that's, like I said, you live and you learn, bro. But at the end of the day, that's it, bro. The courage, you start learning more knowledge and applying it in different ways. And that's what you get is you at the end of the day. You're the finished product.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the one thing I can say that's the journey that I'm on right now, of just getting out of my comfort zone with a lot of things, because it is very comfortable to get comfortable.
And that's the thing that's gonna kill you, bro.
It's so comfortable to be comfortable, man.
People,
and it's like, what I've learned, it's like, yo, it's like, that's it. You know, the one thing that like I could say that I'm taking away from this conversation, that like you kind of know, but it's like it's always better to hear it whenever you're having a conversation, is that everything really is connected. Like the fact that we just now was talking about food,
fashion,
and that shit just was making sense when it comes to fashion. But then when you talk about fashion, it makes sense when you talk about rapping and making beats. And then when you make beats, it makes sense about when it comes to like entrepreneurship and all that stuff. It's like everything really is connected in a way. So it's like you can't be like, oh, yo, you know, I'm really good at making fashion, so I should think this and that. It's like, but you don't know what you could learn from trying out doing beats and that you could bring onto fashion. You know what I'm saying? You know the saying like a master.
I know what you're talking about. No, it's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, jack of all trades.
You know the actual saying?
Yeah, it's a jack of all trades, but a master of none.
That's not the actual saying.
More to it.
Yeah, it's a jack of all trades. Is so the
master
actual
of none, but
the jack of all trades is a master of none, but better than a master of one.
Yeah. That's I forgot. It's this guy that I was reading his book. Yeah, he had the full saying.
And that's the thing. It's like, if you know how to cook, and I know how to make clothes, and I know how to might know how to start a campfire, but then there's a nigga who just knows how to start a campfire. Who's more valuable? The nigga who knows how to do one thing, or the nigga who knows how to do multiple? And he might not be great at all the things, but he knows how to do multiple things. Yeah, he knows how to do something. And that's like I said, it's okay, bro. It's okay to experiment, bro. Experiment the fuck out of your life, because as long as you do that, like I said, you might find the right avenue for you. You might think that, you know, what you're doing right now, oh yeah, you know, I might start a vending machine business, right? And I'm like, all right, you know what? But you go do fucking trucking business. Like, let me go try this. Now I love trucking. I love the trucking business.
I ain't gonna lie, that might be something I end up dabbling in within too, because I do like to drive, and for some reason I do like, whenever I'm doing my job now, like I've always been into some type of delivery business. So like when I do my job now, it's like when you start to see shit, you're just like, damn, this shit is like, damn, I'm really just be in the same spot all the time. It's like, it shows you to like look at different shit.
And that's another thing before this even ends. Travel, bro. Travel. Like I was telling you a long time ago, like, bro, if you come into some contact with some money, bro, let's say you make $500. and it costs $250 to go to Paris. Book the flight to Paris, bro.
Nah, man. I
Book
don't
the
know about
flight.
that one.
Do that, because at the end of the day, you have to understand you can rely on yourself. You can make money. So if I go to there, bro, I can go and let's say I want to go to Paris for a month, right? I can go to Paris and get a little job in Paris. I speak English, nigga. There you have things that you can do. Like you might go to a music house and be like, yo, I know how to engineer. Niggas like, bro, we was just looking for one. Like, now you win. now you make Paris money, but at the same time you're getting an experience. Like I said,
And you learning some Paris ways of making music.
Mm-hmm.
Well, bro, I don't know what to say, bro. Like, this was such a good information. Bro, I always knew that. Yo, this interview is long overdue because before I even had a brand to host the interview, you wanted an interview from me. I remember that. And I was just like, bro, I can interview, but where am I going to post this? Like, where's this going to live, you know? So this shit is way overdue. It's probably my first interview that I was supposed to do, you know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely going to have you back on for another interview with whatever you got going on at that time. Is there anything else you want to say before we end?
Before we end, I would say just the key points to take away from this. Number 1, invest in yourself. Number 2, up the fucking price. Number 3, always take those fucking trips. And number 4, be open, bro.
Factuals.
Yo, that was a really outside interview with my boy Harvey Miguel.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for pulling up, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Thank you guys.
you.
I appreciate y'all, yo.
Thank you guys for watching. This has been a really outside interview.
And shout out to the shirt, man. Shout out to
Meuces.
Thank you.
Shout out to Harvey. Watch what he got going on. His Instagram is Harvey Miguel, right?
Harvey LM.
Harvey LM. Go check him out. Meuces.com for the clothes. Meuces on IG, right?
Yeah.
To check out
the Meuces project.
The Meuces project to check what he got going on. I'll have all that in the links. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for pulling up.
Oh, no problem, G.